Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. Hello everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for Arrow Season 3, Episode 19, Broken Arrow. I'm your host, Clio, and welcome to the One Woman Podcast. I think I have popcorn in my hair. Jesus, guys, this episode. Super, heartstring pulled in, 5 different directions. It was very bait and switch. Very interesting. It was a good episode. I liked it. I thought it was great. Obviously, I always have problems with things. You know me. And, I had some problems with this episode. But we'll get to it. I think my first problem is I friggin' had to do this episode over again because I didn't press record like a dummy. But anyway, I have no problem. I love hearing my own voice. So, I love hearing my own voice. So I'll gladly do this episode over. So Roy is in prison, after turning himself in last episode for Ollie. And, we find out in this episode that it wasn't, he didn't turn himself in just because he felt bad. There was a goal. But I definitely think his guilt over the death of that police officer made it easier for him to volunteer to take the fall for Ollie. Definitely played a role. And it just, he knew the risks. He knew it. He knew that if it didn't go according to plan, he could end up dead. And I think his guilt really played a factor in being okay with that. Obviously, he knows the risks of just being a vigilante, of being out on the street with the Arrow, doing the things that they do. Because he's been doing it. Yeah, he's been doing it for a while. What, 2-3 seasons? No. 2 seasons. Sorry. But I'm pretty sure he only got his... he only got his costume this season. I might be remembering wrong, but that's what I remember. But anyway, he knows the risks. And he does them. He does the risks. I know proper English language. Shut up. Sure. Bill Cosby made an appearance in a previous episode tonight, and now it's Sean Connery. So yeah, that's where Roy is, and he gets beat up. They cut open his shoulder. Thea comes to see him, and obviously she knows he's full of shit. But he says it's something he has to do. And he even tells Ollie, he's like, and it makes more sense at the end of the episode. He's like, you saved me. It's my turn to save you. Literally. He's saving his life by going into prison and taking this risk for him. And he does it gladly. Because, as he said, Ollie saved his life. More technically, Roy saved his own life, but Ollie showed him a path, a better way. Sort of, kind of, maybe? Well, Ollie did literally save his life from death, as he does with so many people because he's a vigilante. But anyway, the point being, I think this is definitely Roy paying Ollie back for what Ollie's done for him, but it's also taking on this suffering, this tremendous burden is sort of like him doing penance for taking the life of the officer, even if it wasn't in his control, even if it wasn't his will. I think that it definitely plays a part, which is a thing that happens. So Captain Lance is still on his crazy Arrow Boner. Yeah, I said it. I tried very hard not to say it, but I said it. He's got a heart on to catch the arrow. To catch Ollie, more importantly. Well, yeah. Does Lance know for sure that it's Ollie now? I think he does. I think he does. He does. Yeah, he does. Because it doesn't buy for a second that Roy is the arrow. He even comes to him in prison and he's like, don't throw your life away for him. But obviously Roy knows better. Roy knows there's a plan and that they're saving both of them, really, in the end. But he raids the lair. That was a shock. I didn't expect him to get away with that. He just, like, boom! Pushed down the doors and it doesn't find anything. Finds only Roy's prints. And is like, oh, Felicity, what did you do? And Ollie gets really mad. I mean, obviously Ollie has trouble asking for help. Gee, I wonder if we've seen that before in the show. Yeah, Ollie does have trouble asking for help. That's shown in this flashback, and I think it's shown in the last, half of this season, He's, even in the flashbacks in the present day, he doesn't ask for help. Like, it's not in his blood. Like, he can't do it. And they're like, yo, dog, sit down. We got this one. You gotta keep your head down. Or you're definitely fucking screwed, so just stop. And he still has such a hard time. It's only until, he gets mad at Felicity for, covering their asses, And it's like, dude, it's only when him and Roy team up that he's finally like, alright, I'll accept your help. But in the same vein, Ray has to accept Ollie's help. Did I say Roy? I meant Ray. I'm talking about Ray. I should just call them by their superhero names. Arsenal and Adam. They're still A's. They gotta stop sharing initials. Nope, you're gonna throw me off, boys. You're gonna throw me off. Anyway. We don't see him accepting help until Ray, Adam, that guy. Until they team up. And even then, it's like, Ollie's like, I will accept your help, Ray, if you shut the fuck up and accept my help. And I honestly think that down the line, Ray is going to have to learn how to fight, learn how to be physical in that sense, because he's not going to last as the Atom if he's not. I mean, right now he's just a glorified Tony Stark, But soon he'll have the shrinking powers, and he'll really need to rely on the physical side of his crime fighting to survive, really. And I'm not sure... No, because that was the Flash's episode. Ray and Felicity cross over to Flash's episode this week, and what did we find out? We found out something. Found out something about the nanites, and that I was saying that it could be in him physically, the nanites, that gives him his shrinking powers, but it seems to be that it's going to be the suit. I know I theorized because they're inside of him that it's going to give him, but it's probably not going to be a Ray thing. It's going to be a suit thing, because the whole point of Ray and Felicity going to the Flash was to fix the problems with the Atom suit. And one of the problems was power. It ran out of power pretty quickly. And the solution was, let's make the power smaller. Think smaller. So the think smaller, I think, is going to apply to the suit. He's going to put the nanites in the suit, and he's going to shrink small, and then he's going to be like, this is a better power than just flying around in a super suit. Let's do the small thing. That I have a feeling is going to manifest before the end of the season, and we're going to get a true Atom soon. Hopefully, he'll spray paint half his costume blue, because I cannot stand that it is red and black. It needs to be red and blue. I don't care if it's a dark blue, because Atom in the comics is a light blue. I don't care if it's a dark blue, it just needs to be blue. I'm sorry. I will not let up on that. It has to be. It's just a thing that I need. to happen. Speaking of Flash and the crossovers, Team Arrow faced a meta this week, which is nice to see. And to be honest, the meta was not memorable. The meta himself was not important. It was kind of similar to Flash's episode this week, where while Flash's meta, she wasn't a meta. Spoilers. She was more interesting, where the Flash's villain this week was more interesting, and had a kind of more of a personality. I don't even want to say that because she was just a big caricature. But the villains this week were not fleshed out. They were not their normal, like, here's the deal. It's just sort of like, yeah, this is a let's take care of him, you know? And I think that was because there's a lot going on with our protagonists, like, a lot in both shows. So it's this is more of, here's what our protagonists are doing and they have to deal with this, more than this is the person that they have to deal with, you know? So, not so much attention was paid to him, and, the Wikipedia didn't even say his name. They usually have, hey, this is the villain, and this time they didn't. But the wiki did, and his name is Jake Simmons. I don't know his equivalent, villain title thing. Deathbolt. Well, that's lame. Anyway, that's him. And not much attention was paid because it was more important what our heroes were doing. It was more important. And him as a villain wasn't... The importance of him as a villain was to show that the metas don't all come from one source. So in The Flash, this is not really a spoiler, but in The Flash, it was considered that the only metas came from the reactor explosion, the Star Labs reactor explosion. And I had theories because there are some characters who, their comic book versions have powers, but their CW versions don't have powers yet, and I thought it was a latency thing, where it was like, oh, maybe after a certain amount of time they get their, powers, but no, this guy proves that there's a separate way metas can get their powers, because he was nowhere near the explosion. He was not in the city when the reactor exploded. So this meta got his powers another way. And that's probably how some of the characters in The Flash who don't have their powers yet are going to get their powers. So, very looking forward to that a lot, because one of my favorite characters still doesn't have his powers, and I can't wait. Cannot wait. Anyway, back to Arrow. Felicity got damseled. Oh no. It's happened before. Kind of. A lot. And it really sucks that her being it's disproportionate, the amount of female characters that get used as plot devices as opposed to the male characters. It's very disproportionate. The women are almost more used as plot devices. Sarah, Felicity, to lesser extents, Laurel, Thea, definitely Thea, Moira. I mean, there are male examples, obviously, like, what's his name? The ex-husband. Moira's husband? Freaking forget his name, it's been so long. But it's a disproportionate towards the women, and I will stop complaining when it stops. I will stop complaining when it stops. You can't stop me from complaining. I'll keep doing it. So I was not a fan of her being damseled. Yes, she did some stuff to help her situation. She did the steam in his face, which is good. But she still ended up having Ray being like, oh, I'm the man, gonna save my woman, don't let her go. It's like, okay, alright, can we hurry this up? But the fight was really cool. Especially Ray giving Ollie reins. Because Ollie ends up being like, okay, I'll let you help me, but you can't fucking go in balls, tech blazing. You gotta take it as it comes. You gotta use your physicality. that was really interesting. It really was. Oh, and I didn't say this yet. I said this in the episode that I didn't record. But Felicity is obviously having problems with identifying her feelings. Don't we all at some times, really, honestly, truly. But she knows she can't love Ollie because Ollie is terminally emotionally unavailable, I think was the term she used. So she knows it. She knows it, but the brain and the heart are two different things. And Ray told Felicity that he loved her. And it was like, oh, that's sweet. And then she freezes. Because she doesn't know how she feels. She's sort of been ignoring that she's still in love with Ollie. I think she really needs to address it to get over it, you know? Because her mother pointed it out for her, but she never said, yeah, you're right. You know, it was just sort of like, okay, feelings, you know? And I think that's just, she's got, I hope that she comes around and is, if not her being in love with Ray, then hopefully she comes to be like, I can let go of Ollie. You know? Caring about Ollie is something that she'll always do. Obviously. They're friends, co-workers, they've saved each other's lives countless times. But, you know, you gotta just sort of let it go if it doesn't work. And they both know it's never gonna work. Just gotta let it go. Let it go! Let it go! My frozen crown is out of reach. I would put it on. But, it's somewhere over there. Anyway, I hope that gets resolved without breaking Ray's heart, because I will be genuinely upset, because the two of them together are amazing. And I hope that Ray can just give her the time, because listen, it happens. Sometimes people aren't ready to say I love you at the same time, but they come around to it. You know, it's just, hopefully Ray doesn't get, like, anxious or whatever about it. Hopefully he can keep it zen. The fuck was that? The fuck is this? The fuck are you? Anyway. It's probably one of the 50 tabs I have open. God damn it. Continuing. Man, the end of this episode. So Roy getting stabbed, I was seriously like, did they kill Arsenal? Is this it for Roy? I started processing the way my brain and emotions process fictional characters getting killed. Like it started to process, and I'm like, oh, that means no more Arsenal. Oh, I have to start thinking like this, and then it's revealed that he's alive, and it was just a setup, and I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God. It was like, I could start relaxing. And then Raj Al Ghul shows up at Thea's apartment, and I'm just like, son of a bitch! And he stabs her through. And I'm just like, oh, what the fuck? No more Speedy! Like, and then my brain started, processing the death of that character. And I'm just like, she had so much potential! This is another example, like I was saying, Thea, a female character being used as a plot device, basically, because Raj Al Ghul shows up and he's like, you will be the reason that Ollie accepts my offer. It's like, great. Okay, plot devices. No, don't use people as, well, I mean, you can't use people as plot devices, but stop making it obviously all women. Anyway, continuing. I'll stop complaining when it stops happening. But I was serious, like, until I saw the promo for next week, I was seriously like, is Thea fucking dead? Is Thea fucking dead? Is that it? Is this all? Is that all? Because she's got so much potential. And, that's been a critique of The Walking Dead, killing off characters that have so much potential. But this is not The Walking Dead. Like, we are not in that territory. This is DC. Like, people who get killed come back all the fucking time. Totally different universe. Concept of death is different. But anyway, a promo for next week, freaking Ollie, she's only mostly dead. And so Ollie's gonna take her to the Lazarus Pit, and she's gonna go crazy because that's what the Lazarus Pit does to people. But Thea didn't just take it, you know, she fought back, she fought well. And she knew that Roz was this scary thing. She knew that he was the demon. I actually liked that dialogue. She's like, "You're the demon." He's like, "No, I'm the demon's head." Which is actually a very interesting concept, because that means that the entity of the League of Assassins is the demon. Everyone makes up the demon's body, and the leader is the demon's head, which is interesting. It's interesting. Although I'm still not convinced, like, he really wants Ollie to take his place, you know what I mean? I don't know why I'm still not convinced. I guess because my concept of Raj Al Ghul is this guy who fucking lives forever. It's this one guy who's crazy and lives forever and is obsessed with power. Because that's the image I have of Raz in my mind. And this probably is a different Raz. So I just have to stop jumbling my mind so much. Just take what's being put in front of me. But yeah, no, Thea's only mostly dead. And Ollie's going to accept in order to save her life. Gee, this sounds familiar. Anyway. Flashbacks. And it feels weird coming back to all these flashbacks after, like, other people's flashbacks. You know what I mean? But we're getting closer to an answer. We're getting closer to what happens to Akio, what happens to Masao and Tetsu. We're getting closer, but we're not there yet. Ollie finds Waller captive, which was a shock to me. The whole like turn of events with Shreve wanting to use the virus on Hong Kong was insane. I'm unsure of General Shreve's motives right now, and I don't know what's really going on with this organization. If Shreve took over head of Argus, I don't freaking know. If Shreve is somehow connected to Hive, if Hive is pulling this governor's strings somehow, if Ollie is actually aware that Hive exists, is also another question. And it's really telling about Ollie's character that we're only ever going to get this stuff in flashbacks. He's never going to tell another living soul a fraction of what happened to him in those 5 years, you know? So, we're gonna have to get it in flashbacks, and we're just gonna have to hope it all makes sense. Man, I can't wrap my head around, like, what's, like, we're getting the plot of this year in Hong Kong piecemeal, you know? And things are happening, and we're getting it, you know? But it's not enough at a time for these chunks to make sense. Especially this chunk. This chunk left us on a cliffhanger, like, he's gonna blow up Hong Kong. Clearly he doesn't. Clearly he doesn't blow up Hong Kong. But it's just like, what, how does this translate? How is Argus still in business? How is Waller still head of you know, all of these questions. But Waller, like, I said earlier, like, when we first met Shreve, it's like, Waller's clearly afraid of this guy. Probably because she knew he was capable of something like this. Or that he was on the verge of something like this. Which makes me wonder what exactly is there, like, why exactly she would agree to work with him, what exactly she thought she was going to get out of it. I don't know. A lot of it still doesn't make sense. But hopefully we're close to real answers. I mean, we have to be. We have to be. I swear to God, if Akio dies, I'm probably just gonna cry. I'll be a puddle of tears on the floor. I don't freaking know. I can't deal with the child death right now. It's, like, just not something I'm even really considering. Anyway, next week's episode is The Fallen. Raj Al Ghul finally makes Oliver an offer he can't refuse. The team joins Oliver on his journey to Nanda Parbat, where a heartbroken Felicity decides to take matters into her own hands. Is she heartbroken because of Thea? Does something happen to Ray? Where? Yeah, the team joins. Yeah, so everybody goes. I don't know if Roy. Shit! I don't know if Roy is going to go, since he has gone to ground. I don't know where he left the city, so I don't know where he's going, and so I don't know if he's gonna follow them to Nanda Parbat. But yeah, that is The Fallen, next week's episode. We have 4 episodes left this season. I think it's very fitting that the season finale's title is My Name is Oliver Queen, as starts every episode of this show. It makes me wonder if that's gonna be where Ollie really decides who he is, and hopefully this season, especially the flashbacks, have been him struggling with being 2 people at once. A man cannot live by 2 names. That's been mentioned a lot, and it's been brought up a lot, and I think that the title of that episode, My Name is Oliver Queen, might be a hint that he's gonna be able to be Oliver Queen and the Arrow. If he can even be the Arrow anymore, he might just be whatever he ends up being, you know? But hopefully he can live in Oliver's skin, because I think this episode 2, he's like, I don't know who Oliver is without the Arrow. Identity crises, you know? It's like, it's a thing. It's real. Struggle's real. And I wonder if Malcolm's gonna be in next episode, especially since Thea is dead. And I wonder if Malcolm's gonna last very long in this show. I don't know. There's a big theory that we're gonna have a major character death, like death. I don't think that this counts. This is not a death, because she's coming back, guys. Spoilers, she's coming back. But I already told you what my theory is. I don't want it to be true, but I think it's Diggle, because they brought all this feeling of family, of finality for Diggle, a purpose for Diggle, and I think that, and Diggle's also struggled with following Ollie this season because of all that's happened. So I think that killing Diggle's gonna really, really hurt a lot of people. And I fucking don't want it to happen. Like, please don't happen. But that's just my theory, and I desperately, desperately hope that I'm wrong. Because poor baby Sarah needs a papa. And I need my Diggle! I named my family in Darkest Dungeon the Diggles. I need the head of the Diggle house, you know? So, that is all that I've got for this episode. I want to hear your comments. I did it again this week where I didn't check. I've been late, guys. I've been late. You know? I suck. I'm gonna get back on track for the next 4 episodes for the next month. It's gonna be perfect. I'm gonna be perfect. I'm gonna be on time. I'm gonna read your comments. I'm gonna give you shout-outs. I really want to hear what you guys think is gonna happen, because I love reading your comments when I actually can. Also, tweet at us. Yeah. Hell, we'll answer. Nobody tweets at us. You can find me personally at Cleomoto on the socials, you know, Twitter, Instagram, and the like, and Pinterest and the like. Tumblr too. And you can find me on Twitch, where I stream video games, at the Cleomoto. Just put a the in front of the, right there. Put a the right there. And you can find all of us at ASO TV Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, MySpace, and right here on YouTube. Follow us for some more podcasts from some of your favorite TV shows. Let me know what you think is going to happen and what your favorite parts about the season are. I'm dying to know. Until next week, when I will totally be on time. Bye-bye. Totally gonna be on time.